to Freedom, episode number 68. Hello again, this is Sean Terry from the Flip to Freedom podcast, and we are on episode number 68. Now, if you're listening for the very first time, I'd like to welcome you and let you know that I have put this podcast together for you to help you escape the 9-to-5, get out of the rat race, be done with corporate America, stop commuting, no more boss, no more meetings, no more mundane work. And I know, because I was there. Wake up early, sit in rush hour traffic, go to a job, sit in a meeting, tell us what we got to do. I'd sit there, look at the clock all day, just wanted to get out, and then could not wait till Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, and BAM! I was out of there as fast as I possibly could. See, that's no way to live life. So what I've done is this podcast is basically good. I put it together to show you how to escape the 9-to-5, how to be done with corporate America, and you can learn this by flipping houses, wholesaling houses, real estate, and doing it in your spare time using no cash, no credit, or no experience. Now, when I first started, I thought you had to have good credit. I thought you had to have a boatload of money. You don't. This business, this niche of wholesaling is where literally you find a seller, and the seller can be a motivated seller, and then you turn around and contract a property for a price. Let's say you have a $100,000 property, you contract it for $50,000. Then you line up a buyer that will pay cash and close quickly for a higher number. Let's call it $60,000. Now what you do is you take both contracts. Now, you haven't applied for a loan, you haven't funded anything, you have a contract for 50, which is on a piece of paper, right? Then you have a contract for 60, which is on another piece of paper, and you bring it to a closing agent and say, hey, listen, I want to close this deal, and I want to do a double escrow or a simultaneous close or an assignment or whatever, and the buyer will bring in $60,000 plus closing cost, and $10,000 will go to you, the $50,000 will go to the seller, and you can do this over and over and over and over again. That is what wholesaling is. This is your break into real estate. Now, what we're going to talk about in this particular episode is the 4 phases to freedom. And the first step in the first phase is going out and getting your first check. Okay, that's the first thing you have to do. You got to go out and you got to understand and wrap your head around the concept of wholesaling. Now, like I said, I've got 67 different episodes that explain every minute detail that it takes to go through this process of wholesaling. So you have to wrap your head around it first. You got to understand what it is, right? And then once you kind of understand the concept and it can gel in your brain of what wholesaling is and how it works, then you have to implement and execute a plan to go out and get your first check. Okay, that's phase number 1 is get your first check. Phase 2 is to amass 1 year's worth of income in the bank as fast as humanly possible, so then you have the option to quit your job. That's phase 2. Phase 3 is to build momentum, ramp it up. Phase 3 is to build momentum, is to ramp it up, is to crank it out, is to now think about it. You go into your job and you're done. Right? You have 1 year's worth of income in your bank, and you've done this by flipping houses, and now it's the next day, right? And now you don't have to go to work. You know, maybe you take a day off and go golfing, right? But then you got the next day, and you're going, holy cow, now I got to go to work. What do I got to do? Well, you want to create a business plan and a business model, and you want to start cranking, and you want to start building momentum so you can continuously do deals day in and day out. Okay. Then once you ramp it up, what happens is then you're going to increase your income. And what you're going to have now is what's called cash stick. Okay. And what happens is you have cash flow. There is money that comes in and there's money that goes out. The money comes in and then there's the money that goes out for bills and whatever and life and braces and tires and, and stuff, right? But what happens is you'll get to a certain point to where you're going to get what's called cash stick. Now, cash stick is where you got money coming in and money going out, and guess what? You've got a chunk of money left over. Well, that chunk of money left over can be reinvested correctly into real estate to create a cash flow for you that will supersede your monthly nut, is what I call it. Okay, so let's say your monthly nut for all your mortgage and your cars and lifestyle and whatever you do. Let's say that, let's call it $10,000. Well, the goal is to get $10,000 of passive income. So literally, your monthly nut is covered by cash flow assets, real estate, that is literally just, all it's doing now is just paying your monthly nut every single month. So you don't have, guess what? If you want to take the month off and go to Jamaica and hang out with the kids or do whatever, you're going to have your cash stick, you're going to have money in the bank, plus you're going to have all your monthly expenditures covered. That, my friends, is true freedom. And that is the 4 phases to freedom. And this is a series, okay, that we're doing here. This week, I'm going to go into phase 1. How to go out and get your first check. Then next week we'll go into how to quit your job, and then we're going to talk about creating momentum and ramping it up, and then we're going to talk about building your passive cash flow. Now, I might have interviews from different people during this series and stuff like that. But I will get through this series. So after this series is done, you'll have episodes to pretty much have a blueprint to go out and model and put forth that you can do, and you can go out and accomplish that. So that is my goal with this 4 phases to freedom series, for you kind of put in your pocket that you can turn around and have that blueprint so you can go out and get success doing it. Okay? So now, before I get into the actual content, where we're going to talk about the meat of the subject here, in the past couple episodes I've actually been in my car. The last episode I was driving on the way to Vegas. The episode before that, I don't know where I was, but I'm sure I was driving somewhere. Because I'm a full-time real estate investor. That's what I do. This podcast stuff and this online stuff, this is just fun for me. I just like doing it. I like helping people. I like talking to people, and I do the best I can. I mean, you would not believe the amount of emails and calls and stuff. I can't respond to everybody because this is not my full-time business. My full-time business is flipping houses. I mean, today I went down and signed docs on 2 different deals, on HUD deals we're closing this week, opened escrow on a couple other deals we're working on, set up mail campaigns to get ready and go out, talking to another person I got to interview to take on as a staff person, to start help with the administrative side of the business. So, I'm running my business. I'm constantly running my business. And like I said, this podcast and this online, this is part-time, and I talk about what I do in my real estate business. I'm not a guy that teaches one thing and makes money, soul money off teaching people. That's not my deal. I do real estate, and this is on the side. So when people email me and ask me all these different questions and stuff like that, and I get I get probably about 1,000 emails a month, and probably 400 or 500 people are asking just quite about this, what about that, and ask all these questions, and I literally have to hire a full-time staff to just answer everybody's questions of what they have. But hey, what am I going to do? Hey, I'm focused on real estate, and I'm here to give you some great content. Anyways, so here there are people that actually went into the iTunes into iTunes and actually submitted reviews. And what I want to do is just I haven't actually acknowledged them for the past couple of weeks because I've been running, but I want to share these with you. Some people that actually went in there and submitted iTunes and a review on iTunes, and it really helps for ranking. So I greatly appreciate you doing this. So this one is from EF Girly Girl, and it says, "So freaking cool." It said, "Everyone at some point has thought, how can I make a difference in this world? Sean does it. Every day of his life, inspiring awesome motivation. I can go on and on. This guy is the man. Thank you for being so selfless." Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate that. Thank you for going in there and submitting that review. The next one is much better content than many other gurus. And it says, "The Hey Guy" on September 26, 2011. "Sometimes you get more than you pay for. In this case, you get much, much more. Can't beat the price. Of course, podcasts are free, so thank you for submitting that. Next one is The Best by Far. These are all 5-star reviews from Kench, 1978, on October 3rd, 2011. Sean Terry's podcast and ebook is the real deal. It is the perfect recipe for success. It combines great real estate information, inspiration, spiritual essence, and delivered with great enthusiasm. I've paid $5,000 for a wholesaling course, and it didn't even cover as much or inspire me like this does. Sean also talked about the law of attraction in one or two of his podcasts, and that is the most important part so many people ignore and neglect. Yes, it is. Law of attraction is a very, very important part, because law of attraction is what you attract. So why does some people get all the good leads and the deals come in, and then some people just struggle? Well, it's that law of attraction and how that works in your life. And I talk a lot about that. Actually, episode number 67, I talk about the progression and learning about how law of attraction applies in your life, and also the spiritual side with God in your life and stuff like that. So thank you so much. Next one is from Dan DeMan. Hey, Dan DeMan. October 11, 2011. Epic real estate content guaranteed. This information in these podcasts is 100% epic. Sean tells it exactly like it is, because in the world with information overload, who needs fluff? We want to hear the honest, transparent, and blunt truth about what's working in real estate today, and actionable steps that we can start making to achieve success in flipping houses in whatever market you are in. I'm 23 years old, and I have wholesaled 15 houses this year, with 3 in the hopper. And like Sean, I am absolute blockhead. Yes, I am. If I can put this information to use, then you will have no problems making it happen. If you can get your mindset right, heed the advice and strategies in these podcasts, and act with definitive purpose, that you will close your first deal. And I'm telling you, Sean will get you there. Great story. Great, Dan the Man. Really appreciate it. Guys, 23 years old. 23 years old. He's done 15 deals. He's got 3 in the hopper. Guess what? No excuses. There's no reason why you can't do this business. There's no reason why. People are intimidated and say, well, am I old enough? Or am I young enough? Hey, just go out and get it done. And he says something extremely important. You got to get your mindset right. You have to have a definite purpose. You have to have clear focus, and then stand up and do something. And it takes action and effort, and that's what we're going to talk about here. Because I'm going to give you action steps, but also I'm going to tell you what you got to do to get it done. All right. Next one here is from, this is the last one, Moving Forward Residential. 5 stars. Stop. Just download it now. Stop. He said, there is no reason to look any further. Sean has it all in these podcasts. You need to know that, you need to know what to ask. He's got it here. You need to know who is a waste of your time. He tells you. Need to know why what you're doing isn't working. He tells you straight. Just getting started. He'll get you going as long as you take action. My favorite word. Start listening and you will be addicted. Thanks, Sean, for the information and motivation. This podcast is number 1. Well, Moving Forward Residential, thank you so much for submitting your reviews, and all you guys submitting your reviews in there. I greatly appreciate it. It helps in the iTunes rankings, and it helps to spread the word out there and let other people know that this podcast is about. All right, enough of the jibber jabber. If you want more from me, go to flip2freedom.com, flip2freedom.com. I wrote a book, that book he was talking about, and it's a 129-page comprehensive detailed blueprint on exactly how to go out and quit your job in 19 weeks or less. And it kind of maps out this blueprint we're talking about, the 4 phases to freedom. Okay, and what it does is it kind of goes through everything. And I've had people tell me they spent $5,000 or $1,000 for the same information I give away for free. I know you'll love it. Go to Flip2Freedom, flip the number 2 freedom right now, and you can get that for free. All right, now let's get into this. The 4 phases of freedom. Okay, let's talk about phase one. We're going to talk about phase one in this particular episode. Now, there are different steps, okay, to the phase. Well, first off, in phase one, right? In phase one, we got to go out and get your first check. That's the first thing. We got to go out. We have to go out and we have to get your first check. You have to know this works for you. Okay? And the best way for you to know this works for you is you to get a check. See, when we first get up and going and you get a new idea, and maybe some of you are listening to this for the very first time, or maybe you listened 3 or 4 times and you're still trying to gel and you're still trying to wrap your head around how this whole thing works, the whole concept of real estate, how do you flip houses, and how does the transaction work? Well, I can tell you right now, the best way to get 100% clear that this works for you is to actually go through the process, go through it. And once you get a contract, and then what do you do next? And then you open up escrow and you're talking to a closing agent. Then you go out and you start talking to buyers in the next step. And then you go, how do you talk to the buyer? And how do you get the check from them, the cashier's check from them for the non-refundable earnest money? And how do they work this whole closing thing? Once you understand the whole process and you go through that just one time, then you're done. Because now you understand it, and now you went through the process, and now it's rinse and repeat, and then you do it as many times as you possibly can. Okay? So, but there's people I know that are listening that maybe have gone through this, right? And this 4 phases to freedom is pretty much for everybody. We've got new people that are listening right now. They're saying, hey, I'm brand new. I don't know anything about real estate, and I don't know anything how to do this. Well, this is going to be great for you. And then when we get along in the latter phases, you know, you might be in a situation where maybe you've done 4, 5, or 6, or 7 deals, and then, but you are in should I quit my job or should I not quit my job? What should I do, right? And we're going to talk about that and getting enough cash in the bank so you're confident that you can quit your job, and then turning the, basically turning the gas on, right, and start cranking it out and building momentum. So right now we're going to talk about phase one, and phase one is going out and getting your first check. Now, before you can go out and get your first check, you have to have that definite of purpose that Dan the Man talked about. You have to know specifically what you want. What's your purpose? Okay, and your purpose is you have to get your first check. So you got to define your goal. You got to figure out, okay, my first check's going to be X amount of dollars, and I want it on X time. So a definable goal has to be an exact amount. Okay, you have to have exact amount, and you have to have an exact date, and you have to write it down. Don't skip over this. Don't skip over this, all right? I know, I've heard these things that I said, oh, you know, I'll do it when I get out of the car. Do it, okay? More people spend their time, or people spend most of their time planning a vacation or planning where they're going out for happy hour on Friday night than actually planning their life. Okay, so take 5 minutes, sit down, and really define specifically, I want to have this amount of check from wholesaling houses, and I want to have it on this date. Okay, and then you got to basically fuse that into your brain, and you got to think about it, and that is what your focus is going to be. And actually, visualize yourself getting that check in your hand and the feeling that you're going to have. See, this ties in the law of attraction, because your feelings is pretty much what attracts. That's the law of attraction. When you put an excitement feeling or a feeling of what you would feel like in that situation, that is what attracts. Now, have you ever heard that story where they take the basketball team and they took 3 different groups of a basketball team, and what they did is they did basically really mind tricks, not really mind tricks, but mind exercises with them. The first group of basketball players did nothing. Okay, all they did, they sat down and did nothing. The second group of basketball players, what they did is they went out and they shot hoops every single day. They went out and they shot hoops for a certain amount of time every day. Okay, and they shot free throws every single day. And then the third group, they didn't do anything, but what they did is they shot the same free throws in their mind. They visualize themselves standing on the line, bouncing the ball, the rhythm that they have, picking the ball up, bending their knees, and shooting the ball. The ball goes up in the air, and the ball goes through the net, and that feeling of, bam, I made it. And they practice in their minds shooting the ball. The results were amazing. The group that did absolutely nothing improved on them. The results for the group that actually went out and physically went out and stood there and did it, well, their percentage of making baskets increased. Well, guess what? The people that visualized, the players that actually visualized it, they increased just as much as the people that actually physically, the players that actually physically were out there shooting that. So what does that tell you? And I explained that kind of all jumbly, but the bottom line is this, is that your mind can't tell the difference if it's real, you're actually physically doing it, or it's visualized. So what happens is you want to take this check, this first one, you want to define your goal, and you want to put yourself in that state like you are standing up to the line, you are bouncing the ball, you're bending your knees, you look at the net, and you shoot the ball, and the ball goes in the net. So how do you relate that to real estate? Well, what with real estate you do, you see yourself, and that feeling you have driving up to the title company, and you're going to pick up your first check. Boom! And you're going up there, right? And you're driving up, and you got that excitement, and you couldn't even sleep the night before, and you're just ecstatic. And you close the door, you walk into the title company, and you're waiting in the front, and you're asking for the escrow officer, and you're saying, Eileen, hey! And she comes out and says, hey, great. And she gives you the package that you're waiting for, and you open it up, and there's your first check for $10,000. What are you going to do? Now, feel the excitement, feel the motivation, feel that enthusiasm that you have getting your first check. That will emulate out of you, and guess what? That will attract leads, that will attract stuff that will come back to you. And that's how that kind of plays in. So the first thing is you want to define your goal. You want to see it. You want to believe it. You want to taste it. Next thing you want to do is analyze your market. Okay? You want to analyze your market. Now, how do we go out and analyze your market? What do we do? We have to figure out exactly what the buyers, cash buyers specifically, are buying. We want to know what price, okay, they're buying properties at. We want to know where they're buying properties at. And we want to know the velocity that they're buying properties at. Okay. Now, if you analyze the market and you look at it, and you look back 6 months, and there's only 10 cash transactions that have closed in the past, say, 6 months or whatever, guess what? That's an issue. There's a problem there. Okay, so I would look at a different market other than that. So what do we do? What are we looking for? We're looking for a high cash transaction. You're looking for at least anywhere from 100 to or plus transactions that have happened in the last 6 months in your particular market. Now, what we're doing is we're trying to find exactly where they're happening, what zip codes they're happening in, and we're trying to find out what price point they're actually happening in. Okay? Now, where do we get this data? We can get this data from two different places. One, the absolute best place to get the data is from a real estate agent. Okay, you want to talk to your real estate agent. You want to find a local real estate agent. You can find them at the real estate investment clubs, or you can find a local realtor. Just Google local real estate or whatever. Or better yet, what I would do is because you're going to be bidding on HUD homes, right? I would go to the HUDhomestore.com website and find a broker, put your zip code in, and you're going to find an agent that works for one of your NEID registered brokers, and you want to make friends with that agent. Now, one of the things you want to do with that agent is have them pull all of the cash transactions. Now, when I first started, I didn't know this. Okay, I didn't know this. I just went out and knocked on pre-foreclosure doors. That's how I got started. I didn't have cash buyers. I didn't know what cash transactions were at the time. So the bottom line is this data will give you good information to really determine what price point. So if you're going to be bidding on properties on HUD Homes, you're going to be doing mailing campaigns, which we'll talk about, then you have to know specifically, right? Specifically, what these guys are buying. So when you tee up properties, you know that you can sell them. And I always relate it back and say, listen, if you're going to start any type of business, right? It's a product-based business. Wouldn't you want to know what the customers want prior to actually creating your product, right? You would want to know that there's a demand out there for the product you want. So that's the exact same thing right here. We're trying to find out what is the product, what is the properties that these buyers are actually buying, right? So then we can just tee them up and know that we can sell them. So here's what you're looking for when it comes to analyzing the market and what you have to do. Find a broker or find a real estate agent. Typically someone that's newer, brand new, they're just getting up and going, that you can build and grow a relationship with. Okay, and this is the thing. Don't talk to one agent. When you first get started and you want to go out and you want to take action in this business, okay? So you go from information, you listen to the podcast, and then you go out and apply it, and then you go start talking to agents. Things are going to happen. You're going to start getting opinions from other agents, okay? And the opinions could be either A, positive or negative. And you could be saying, hey, listen, I want to get properties under contract. I want to get them on below market. And then I want to turn around and sell them to cash buyers. Now, an agent might tell you, he might say, hey, guess what? You can't do that. You're not going to be able to find these deals. There's no way. And those deals are, those deals by the time those things are gone by the time someone like you would come along and get them. So that's what they might say to you. So, or they might say something that's saying, hey, listen, you can't do those transactions. You cannot sell a property you don't own. And they're gonna start asking you these questions or putting these things out there like they know more than you. I had the exact same thing happen to me. My father-in-law, which I respect highly, gave me a name of a realtor that I called up and said, hey, I want to flip houses. I want to do double escrows. I want to turn around and get properties under contract and turn around and sell them. And his thing back was, there's no way you'll be able to find them. There's no way you're going to get these deals because more professional companies, people that are in the business, seasoned investors, scoop all those deals up before you'll get them. That's what he said. And guess what? I was down in the dumps. Oh, my great idea won't work, and it's not going to happen. I might as well just quit. I know. I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing. Talked to one guy. Now, all I can say is this. Watch who you listen to. Watch who you listen to. Because the bottom line is this, is that you got two different options. You can put your tail between your legs and quit and say it doesn't work, or you can get a backbone and you can say, listen, and you can get some tenacity and say, you know what, I am going to find an agent that's going to work with me. I'm going to find a title company that's going to work with me. I'm going to find someone that's going to work with me, and you're going to be persistent to make it happen. There has to be some sort of internal, intestinal fortitude that's going to make you just, that you've got to go out and do it. You have to want it bad enough. And see, I can tell you from doing and learning from this podcast, there are people that come in and they just want it to be easy as gravy. I'm just going to come in, I'm going to talk to an agent, and he's going to tell me it's great, and it's going to be, no, it's not going to happen that way. You will run into resistance. That's just the bottom line. It's the way it is. And you got two choices. You can listen to them, put your tail between your legs and quit. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep talking until I find someone that knows what I'm talking about that I can build a relationship with. That's it. And I remember the story. I was working at this bar called Balboa Cafe in Tempe, Arizona. And I remember I was there, and I was bartending, and there was this guy that was there, and he was like the lead bartender. The lead bartender. And this guy, right, was there for years. I mean, he was there for, I mean, the guy was, I don't know. I mean, I was in my early 20s, at the time. I got out of the Marine Corps, and I was actually bartending, so I was probably about, 22, 23, 24 years old, around there. And he must have been in his mid to late 30s. He was like 38, 39 years old, had a big old gut, and he'd have his apron on, and on his apron had all his food and stuff on it because he'd wear it behind the bar and stuff. And I remember I was talking to him one day, and I was like, hey, and see, I always have wanted to be successful. I always wanted to be successful, and I always lost. I always, was when I didn't find my niche or something I could grab onto until my, into my late 30s. So when I was talking to him, I was talking about my dreams and aspirations and what I wanted to accomplish. And I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do that, and I was like full and excited of what I wanted to accomplish, right? And I remember he was standing behind the bar, and he goes, you can never accomplish that. You can't do that. You can't. I mean, you know how many people? 1/10 of 1% of the population can ever accomplish something like that. There's no way you can do that. And I remember feeling bad. I felt terrible. I was like, oh man, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Maybe I can't accomplish that. Maybe I don't have what it takes. And I reevaluated myself based upon what this 38-year-old bartender told me, big old guy sitting behind the bar telling me what I can and cannot do. And then I thought about it, and I looked, wait a minute. Do I want to be like him? Because if I listen to him, I'm going to become him. I don't want to be him. And that was a massive realization for me. Because look at who you're listening to. And I'm not saying me, for one, but find somebody who has what you want. Do what they do, and you'll get what they got. That's all you got to do. So when I look back and I look to him, I almost wrecked my life because I listened to this guy. So when you're getting started and you're brand new and you're going out and you have all are full of excitement, I want to do this, I'm excited, and you go talk to a realtor, right? And you explain, I want to do all these things, and a realtor shuts you down for whatever reason, or a title company shuts you down for whatever reason. If they have what you want, listen to them. That's it. Maybe I'm the crazy one. But if they don't have what you want, then disregard what they say and find someone that can help you on your quest to accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So now, analyze your market. You're looking for cash transactions. You want to find out, and a realtor can be able to pull those cash transactions for you over the last 90 days, and they can deliver it in a nice form, and you can kind of look at what areas that the cash transactions are happening in and what price range the cash transactions are happening. Okay? That's what you're looking for. That's what you want to do. And also part of analyzing your market is you want to find other wholesalers in the market. Other people that are doing what you want to do, wholesale properties. So you can put in, so if you're in Houston, put Houston wholesale properties. And start talking and networking with other wholesalers in the market. Because other wholesalers have big cash buyers list. And you can work with them on partnering on deals to help them sell your properties. One of the biggest fears that people have getting started in this business is, oh my gosh, how am I going to sell my properties? How do I find cash buyers? What do I do to find cash buyers? Oh my gosh, well I can't market for sellers until I get cash buyers. I can't do it. You don't have to. You can find other wholesalers in your market and you can work with them and work through they would be happy to tee up a property to their list, email list of buyers, and they can tack on $3,000 to $5,000 for sending out an email. They would be happy to do that. Trust me. It's the bottom line. So don't be afraid of that. So when we're analyzing the marketplace, we want to know what we can sell. That's step 2. Step 3 is to locate cash buyers. I kind of alluded to it right there, is that you want to find your other wholesalers. Those are going to be your backup guys. If for some reason you get stuck and you can't sell it, then you want to basically tee up your backup guys to help you market and sell the property to their list. And you want to have not just one, but as many as you can get. And you want to find someone that's doing a lot of volume, someone that's selling a lot of properties. And what I do is Google them, whether it be Houston Wholesale Properties or Phoenix Wholesale Homes or something like that. And what you can do is you will get on their email list and you can see the properties that they're sending out. And that will give you a great feel of the marketplace. Okay? So the next thing you want to do to locate cash buyers is to go to the county courthouse where they hold the public auctions for closed homes, for foreclosed homes. Here in Maricopa County in Phoenix, they hold them every single day from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In other markets, they might hold it once a month, depending on how much volume is going through that particular county. So you want to find out that, and you want to go down there and network with all the cash buyers. These guys typically put up $5,000 to $10,000 deposits, and they close within 24 hours, cash on the dime. That is the exact buyer that you want to target, someone that can make a decision quickly and has cash to close quickly. Okay, that's how they typically buy the properties. So that's one way. One way is you're talking to your wholesalers. Another way is go down to the county auctions. And the third way, okay, is go to your local RIA meetings, or you search in meetup.com and go to meetup groups for investors that are looking for properties. And you want to attend those, and you want to talk to people that are looking to fix and flip properties or people that are looking to buy and hold properties. So those are 3 simple ways to go out and find cash buyers in any market. What I would do, if I was flying to your market, I would find out when the county auctions are happening. I would spend a day down there, and I would be networking with everybody, getting their cards, talking to people. I'd definitely go to local RIA meetings there, and I'd be talking to everybody, and I'd be networking with any wholesaler to be able to figure out what is going on in the market. If I was going to open a McDonald's or a burger joint, I would go in there and I'd find out what all the other burger joints are selling their burgers for, how much they're selling them for, how their customer service is, right? What price points they're selling, what type of burgers, right, they're selling. And I'd go in there and I'd be the top guy because I would go out there and I would price my burgers at a better price. I'd make sure my service, I have better service, I have better quality burgers. Right? And I take everybody else's business. That's it. Go in there and just own the market to be the best. So now, locate cash buyers. Next thing is create a marketing plan. Right? Create and deploy a marketing plan. So now we understand exactly what is selling in the marketplace. We have some cash buyers in our pocket that we've been working with, right? And you can do that. We're talking about doing this within days. We have a realtor that we're working with. Now what we're going to do is figure out what we want to do for marketing to can get it out as fast as humanly possible, to get deals coming in as fast as humanly possible. There's 2 ways to do it. Number 1 is direct mail. Number 2 is bid on HUD homes. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about Google or setting up campaigns or AdWords, because you need websites and to do that and all that type of stuff. And if you don't have web savvy, if you don't know HTML or how to set up websites, I don't want you to get caught up on that. But you can get a list, and you can get that list, and you can send direct mail to that list, and you can get the phone ringing in a week from motivated sellers. Okay, so create a marketing plan. You want to bid on HUD homes at least once a week, every Thursday. If you don't know how to bid on HUD homes, we actually have a course that's closed on it right now on how to bid on HUD homes and teach you exactly how to do it. Just make sure you subscribe to the email list so you can know when will be open again. But work with a realtor, an NAID registered realtor, and you want to bid on HUD homes. HUD homes, I just closed in 2 HUD homes today. HUD homes are great ways to find motivated sellers, and it's very simple. It takes less than 5 minutes for an agent to place a bid. You can put multiple bids on different properties. You can put one bid on multiple different properties, and you can literally get your inventory. You can have inventories and have properties tied up and be able to wholesale these houses out. It's phenomenal. So that's number one. I'd be bidding on properties, and for me, I'd probably be bidding on them every day just because I'm aggressive. Next thing you want to do is you want to set up a direct mail campaign with a yellow letter. Okay, and you want to the best list to target out there that I know is the inheritance list. An inheritance list you can get from usleadslist.com. You want to talk to Lance, tell him that Sean Terry sent you, and he'll give you a deal on it, okay? But that is the best list you can possibly buy in the market. I did a mailing last month to the list, and I got a deal off it. I closed a $32,000 deal off that one list, not including all the other deals. That one particular deal, okay? It's a great list. I still market to it today. I do it every single day. I mean, every single month. So now, call up Lance. Get your list. Get as many as you can for your market and many as you can afford. Then you want to call up Michael Corals from yellowlettermail.com and say, hey, listen, I want to send out a yellow letter to this list. You mail him the list. He'll get it out, and he'll get it out for you. Make sure you send it first class, and it'll get out quicker. It'll get out in a week. So if you send out a drop 500 to 1,000, well, guess what? Your phone's going to blow up with people calling off motivated sellers. So you're bidding on homes. Your phone's ringing off the hook. Motivated sellers that are calling you up. Now, if you don't know what to say or how to say it, go back to my previous episodes. I think in 45 or 47 or something like that. I talk about yellow letter secrets. I talk about how to talk to sellers, what you're looking for, how to determine if they're motivated or not motivated, how to do a soft pass with them, how to determine value of the property, what to do next. I walk you through the whole process. But the bottom line is you want to be bidding on properties, and you want to have direct mail sent out, yellow letters where you get calls coming in. Now, don't worry about if you don't have 50 million cash buyers. Once you have a smoking deal, cash buyers will come out of the woodworks to be able to buy that deal. I'm telling you. Once you have a deal, man, people come out of the woodworks to basically get that deal. So deploy the marketing, get that out. Like I said, deploy is talk to Michael Corals at Yellow Letter Mail. Just Google that. Tell him you're working with me, Sean Terry. He'll give you a deal. Okay? And so now you get your letters out. Now, the first time I did yellow letter marketing. Now, what's yellow letter? Yellow letter is basically, it's a yellow pad of paper, right? Yellow pad. It's handwritten letter. And it says, hello so-and-so. It's personalized. I like to buy your house at so-and-so address. It's personalized. Please give me a call at so-and-so number. Sean, right? That's it. And it's an invitation-style envelope, a yellow letter. Now, that gets an unbelievable, anywhere from a 10 to a 15% response rate. Crazy. So you send out 1,000, you're going to get 111 to 150 calls, right? Now, I can tell you this, is that I did a mail drop of about 800 yellow letters, and I sent them to my cell phone. Now, do not send them to a cell phone. Make sure you send them to a voice recorder like a Google Voice or something like that. I'm telling you, I sent them to my cell phone. My phone for 3 days straight rang all day, every day. I couldn't even get anything I couldn't even talk to someone on the phone because my phone kept on beeping in, and then my voicemail box was full. It was just out of control, and I said I would never, ever do that again. So do not send yellow letters direct to your cell phone. Okay? So you deploy your marketing. Now, what's going to happen is you're sorting and sifting through these motivated sellers, and you're making offers on these HUD homes, and what's going to happen is you're going to find someone that's motivated that's going to call you back once, twice, maybe even 3 times and say, hey, I got your letter. I definitely want to talk. I want to sell my house. And they're going to be motivated. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make an offer at 70% less repairs, less profit. That's where you're going to make your offer. And you're going to look at all the sales that are happening in that neighborhood, and you want to make sure that you sell your property anywhere from 5 to 10% below the lowest sales. So for an example, let's say for everything, and people have tons of questions about this, tons and tons and tons. Can I use the formula? Here's the formula. Okay, and there's two different ways to determine where you need to sell sell the property for. Once you determine what you can sell the property for, then you can back out profit. But there's two ways to do it. The traditional wholesaling way in the traditional market, right? Now, we're not in a traditional market, okay? This is not a traditional market. The market's crazy right now, and it's crazy because there's tons of bank-owned inventory, short sales in the marketplace. It's not a traditional market. So you got to look at both different ways. Number one way is you take the formula. The formula is you take the ARV, which is called the after repair value. And what you do is you're looking for sold properties, and you can find these properties on Redfin, redfin.com, redfin.com, Redfin, or you can look on Zillow and look at all the properties that are available in the marketplace or have sold in the marketplace, and you're looking for properties that have been fixed up. Properties that are trashed, right? And then there's properties that are fixed up, they're nice, they're clean, they have granite, they have they're all pretty, and it says remodeled. That will be your ARV, and it has to be a property within a couple hundred square feet and it's sold in the last 90 days of the subject. Okay, so now you have your ARV. Let's call it $100,000. Now, the formula would be 70%, right? 70% of 100 is 70,000, less repairs, right? And the repairs are what needs to be done to get the property fixed up. Okay, of course. Now, a simple formula to figure out repairs is take the square footage times anywhere from 8 to 12 to $15 a square foot. Let's call it 10. So you have a 2,000 square foot house times 10, that's $20,000 repairs. So 70% less $20,000 is $50,000. So that's the price you know. Now, $20,000 repairs, that's a lot of repairs. Okay? Typically, it's, depending on where you are, it could be anywhere from 25, 15 to 25 to 10 to $15,000 depending. Okay, but that's something you kind of you're going to kind of get a feel of. The best, easiest way is take the square footage times $10 a square foot, and that's an easy way to be able to figure out ARV. Figure out repairs. So let's say you've got $20,000. You got $100,000 property minus 70% is $70,000. Minus $20,000 repairs is $50,000. So now you know you can sell it for $50,000. Okay. Now you're going to have to back out, and this is a theoretical example. I'm just giving you an example of properties. Okay. Now you're going to have to back out, right? Your profit. What do you want? You want to make $10,000 in a deal? Then your offer's $40,000. Okay, so then what you do is you take that number of what you think you can sell it for, and now you cross-reference it to the lowest sold comparable properties within that subdivision or within a quarter-mile radius. So now if you pull comparable properties that have sold, comparable meaning they're within 200, 300 square feet of subject property, if you pull comparable properties within that subdivision, a quarter mile there, and you find out that all the properties are going for $30,000, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to sell that property for $50,000 because there's other properties that have sold for $30,000. It's common sense. Okay? And then you're going to look at available properties, and the available properties, if there's properties available for $30,000, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to sell your property for $50,000 because there's other available properties for $20,000 less that are probably comparable. So what you do is you take the formula, 70% less repairs, less profit, right, or less repairs, and get you to a sell number, what you think you can sell it for, and then all you do is do a quick cross-reference of what properties are going for. Now, if you want to make it real easy on yourself, this is what I do. I'll go in sites like Zillow or go in sites like Redfin or even MLS, and I'll look for all the lowest of the low comparable sales, and I know that I got to be anywhere from 3 to 5% or 10% below those properties, the lowest of the lows, and I know I can sell it and sell it quickly because those are what the cash REOs or bank-owned properties are going for. So I know I want to be that low if I'm going to make my numbers work. Okay, so now for an example, if everything's going for $30,000 in the neighborhood, well, guess what? I know I can sell mine for, say, $26,000. So guess what? My offer is going to be $16,000 on that property to make $10,000 on it. And that's where my offer would be, the bottom line. Okay, irregardless of what the ARV is. Even if the ARV is $200,000 It doesn't matter. If there's available properties that people can buy for $30,000, well, I want to be less than theirs, unless it's a short sale. If it's a short sale property, then I disregard short sales. Okay? So now we've got getting the deal signed. So that's where we're going to go in. We're going to negotiate with the seller, and I've got ninja negotiating tricks. You can go back and listen to previous episodes on exactly how to do that. But the bottom line is you're going to go in and you're going to get that contract signed, and then you're going to call back all the cash buyers, the people that you've met at the courthouse, the people that you've met at the RIA meetings, and you're going to call back the people. You're going to put it on Craigslist, Backpage, and eBay Classified. You're going to put bandit signs around the property, and you're going to sell the property. Okay? And you're going to market it. Right? You're going to market it for $26,000 because you got a contract on it for $16,000 or $17,000, whatever it was. Okay? So you're going to go out there now, you're going to market the property, and people are going to start calling you, right? And then you can have them look at the property if it's vacant, or you can schedule to have them look at it if there's actually someone living in the property if it's occupied. So that is what we're going to do. And then you're going to take those, you're going to have a buy-side contract, right? From you, between you and, it's called the AB, between you and the seller, and the BC is between you and your buyer, and you're going to take those to a closing and title company, and you're going to instruct them to close the transaction and get that deal done. Okay? On either using an assignment, where you're going to sell your contract, or a double escrow, or they also call it a simultaneous close. Now, that is the process. That's where you want to define your goal. That's the process. And pretty much, if you go back to the other episodes, I tell you specifically in detail each step. How to find the buyers, how to analyze your market, how to get the cash buyers, how to create the marketing plan, what type of marketing plan. It goes through the whole process. But the bottom line is this, is that really understanding that phase one is to get your check. Do at all costs to get your check. Because once you get that check, and you have that feeling that you went out and got it, then guess what? It's no holds barred. It's like, let's go, baby. And you start cranking it out. Now, my first check that I got was $11,008. And that check made all the difference in the world. $11,008. Man, that was, I mean, I had to bust my butt. I had to work hard to get that check because I was trying to figure everything out. And see, I was taught that you had to go knock on pre-foreclosure doors. That's what I was taught. Well, guess what? I don't teach that. I'd rather bid on HUD homes or, market and have my phone ring off the hook or a voicemail ring off the hook. It's a lot easier than going out and driving around town knocking on doors, talking to pre-foreclosures. That is not easy. I think I had to knock on, I don't know how many, 100, 200 doors or whatever, and I finally found someone that said yes. Said, okay, come on back. He stood me up like 2 or 3 times. I finally went back to his house. It was 7:30 at night. I remember it was dark out. I didn't have a contract. I had to run to Staples prior. I didn't have a title company. I had the real estate agent I was trying to pull comps from, but he's the one that told me I couldn't get these deals. So I didn't have a buyer's list, didn't know about the auctions, didn't know anything. So the guy said come back at 7:30. I was just focused on knocking on doors. I forgot about everything else. I didn't do anything else. So the guy said come back at 7:30. I said, holy cow, I got to get a contract. Where the heck do I get a contract? So I said, well, there was no legal Zoom, no go online and download a contract. They didn't have that. So what I went to Staples, and it said, contract for purchase of real estate. Okay, I'll use that. I don't know what to put in it. I didn't know. I've never wrote up a real estate contract before. Never. I didn't own a house at the time. Never bought a house at the time. But I just did it. See what happens is if you create action, you'll find a way. Things will happen. You don't have to figure out everything before you send out letters. You don't have to figure out everything before you talk to cash buyers down at the. You don't have to do that. Just move forward. Create the action, and you'll figure it out. So guess what? I scrambled. I found a contract. I went over to the house. We sat down. I filled out the contract. I didn't know if I filled it out right. I scribbled half of it because I was so nervous. I remember the house was all dark, and I'm sitting there looking through. I was all nervous. The pool was empty. I'm like, dude, this place was scary. I'm sitting there. I'm scribbling, nervous, not know what to write. I knew I had to have an out clause, so I put contract subject to partner's approval. So I got that in there, right? And I left there exhilarated. I got my first contract. I was excited. And see, what happens is that creates the momentum, the excitement, the success builds step by step. And you have to have those little successes that build. And you got to turn around. You got to get those successes. So then what happened is, boom, I got the contract. Then I panicked because I didn't have any buyers, and I didn't know what to do next. I didn't have a title company, so I had to drive around. I had to find a title company the next day. Drive around, and I'm saying, hey, do you guys do double escrows? Guess what? I had to talk to a bunch of title companies. I think I talked to 10 or 15 title companies. I went through the phone book and driving around, and I found a title company called Metro Title. They're not even in business anymore. And a closing agent that was been in the business for like 20-something years. Her name was Barb. And I sat down with her. I said, hey, can you please do this transaction? I have it under contract, and my goal is to find someone that could buy it. And I'm going to bring you their contract, and I want his funds to basically cover my costs, and I want to get the difference. She goes, oh, yeah, we can do that all the time, no problem. See, when you find a title lady that says that they can do it for you, well, guess what? Your confidence is going to go through the roof because now you know you can execute it. You know, I do suggest you find a title person that can close your transaction because it will give you such a boost of confidence. And don't give up when you talk to 2 or 3. Continue looking. I'm always talking to title people because it's a transitional business. Okay, so then I turn around. I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't have buyers. I didn't have a buyer's list. I didn't have an email, a website. You know, I didn't have access to where I could go something like Freedom Soft. I could pull all the cash buyers in this area, and I could talk to them. I didn't know that. I wish I did. So what I did is I went through the newspaper, and I called all the people that were trying to either lease properties, rent their properties, or lease to own properties. And I said, hey, I see you're trying to rent a property or lease to own a property. Would you be interested in buying another one? They said, yeah, if the price is right, maybe. So I got the guy to go over to look at the house. He gave me a price. We wrote up a contract at the McDonald's. He looked at it, looked at the property, wrote up a contract at the McDonald's. I was all nervous. I was shaking. He goes, how about I give you $2,000 earnest money? Okay. Sounds good to me. He gave me $2,000. We took it. I brought it to the title company. He wired in the funds, and I got an $11,008 check. Boom! My first check. And see, for me, that was it. My eyes glazed over. I was like, this is great. This is phenomenal. I'm going to do this over and over and over and over and over again. And I just went balls to the wall, going as fast as I can to find deals. And that's what you're going to do. And that's what we're going to talk about in these phases. So the next phase we're going to talk about next week, we're going to talk about quitting your job, building that momentum, getting 1 year's worth of income. We're going to talk about building momentum, ramping it up, and we're going to talk about building passive cash flow. But before we get into that, I want you to listen to something real quick. This is Coach Brooks addressing the 1980 USA hockey team pregame. Listen to it right now.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not tonight. Tonight, we skate with them. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can. Tonight, we are the greatest hockey team in the world. You were born to be hockey players. Every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight.
Great speech, wasn't it? Well, I can tell you that this is your time.
Their time?
This is your time to get out of the rat race.
It's over.
This is your time to spend more time with your family. This is your time
Great hockey team
get
the
rich.
Soviets have.
This
Screw 'em.
is your
This
time
is your time
to make it happen. And see, you might
Go out there and
have
take it.
got excited about an opportunity once before and applied yourself and it didn't work out and you kind of gave up. And then another opportunity came up and you got excited about it, you couldn't sleep about it, and then it just didn't work out for some reason. And then you saw something else and you go, oh, I'm going to get excited about it, and then you tried it again and it just didn't work out for you. And then you listen to me, and you may listen to these podcasts or see what's going on, and there is something inside of you that is stopping you from getting excited. Because you're afraid that if you get excited, you don't want to be let down again. Because on the other previous ones, you told your wife and your family and your friends, I'm doing this deal. This is it. This is the one. This is going to be great. Right? And it didn't work out. You kind of felt like a schmuck, didn't you? I know. I've been there. I've done it myself. But this is your time. Put all the things that have happened in the past in a box and pack it away. Get rid of it. Don't let past failures influence your future decisions. See, I know you have what it takes to make this business work. I know you have what it takes to become immensely successful in this business. I know it. I know it because I know me. I don't have a college education. I'm just an average guy. I'm nothing special. And I know me. And there are people listening right now that have way more talent than I do. That have way more enthusiasm, maybe, than I do. Have way more education than I do. If you can take this, now is your time. See, eliminate the fear. Forget what happened in the past. Forget the things that didn't work. And take a breath. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to take the energy and the effort and the excitement and put forth the effort. You know, Winston Churchill has this quote that says, never, 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 never quit. You know how you guarantee success? See, you want success, right? You want to be successful. You want to have freedom. You want to have plenty of money. You want to be able to go to the beach and hang out with your family, take vacations when you want, do the things you want to do. You want that, don't you? You want to be able to feel confident and feel safe and be able to come and go on the time frame that you choose. You want that, don't you? I know you do. Then I can almost guarantee you success. But you have to guarantee me you'll never quit. See, you know, it's funny. He said in the when I was reading the reviews there, he goes, "Yeah, I'm a blockhead too." I guess I was just too stupid to quit. I was just too plain out, too dumb to quit. I knocked on doors and knocked on doors, and there's times I didn't get deals. I knocked on doors. I was too stupid to quit. I don't know. And I thank God I didn't. But if you get excited and you apply the information and you go out and do what we're talking about, you will get results. You will get people calling. You'll be sorting through motivated sellers. And the bottom line is this, is that if you continue moving forward and never give up on your dream, you will have success if you never quit. Isn't that a great feeling? Do you know that? Isn't that a great feeling? You might run up into block walls in hard times, but guess what? Isn't that a great feeling? And now is the time to do it. Don't contemplate, don't consider, don't evaluate, don't get all your ducks in a row. I gotta have my ducks in the row before I get started. Don't be that guy. Don't do it. Be the guy that says, you know what? I'm going to implement and I'm going to figure out, I'm going to improvise, I'm going to adapt, and I'm going to overcome. That's what I learned in the Marine Corps. You find a way, improvise, adapt, overcome, let's go. That's what we're going to do. Now, if you want more from me, go to flip2freedom.com, flip2freedom.com, you can get my book. 129-page book you can download for free. Just put your email in. I'll send you a special link that you can download it. And next week, we're going to talk about how to quit your job. We're going to talk about getting 1 year's worth of income in the bank. We're going to talk about how to do that, how to go from your first deal, your second, third, fourth, fifth deal, how to turn around and get your systems in place so you can go out and do that around your job, time management. We're going to talk about actually going in, and that day you go in and quit your job. You give your notice to your boss. We're going to talk about how to get there. That's what we're going to talk about in next episode we talk about in the 4 Phases to Freedom series. All right, until next week, I wish you ultimate success in your real estate investing career. Take care, and God bless.